All right, sorry, now we're ready. Okay, so factoring by grouping, all right? You will recognize factoring by grouping because it is different than ax squared plus bx plus c, all right? Now, the first one, they've already grouped for you, all right? So you'll see as we go down the page. Now look, I looked, it seems as though you're understanding. All right, but as I say, if you're just writing things down, it's not very helpful. All right, so this is the last thing before our big test on Friday. All right, so I want to make sure you're hearing me. This is a bucket, and this is a bucket. What is in each bucket? That's common.
A plus 2.
A plus 2. All right, remember, parentheses is an entire amount. All right, a plus 2 is different than 2, and it's different than a. A plus 2 is its own quantity. So now, what I'd like for you to do is, I'd like for you to say that a plus 2 is common in this bucket, and a plus 2 is common in this bucket. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pull it out of the bucket like we did before. And when I pull it out of the bucket, I have brought out a plus 2 out of the bucket. And then what's left behind? X minus 2. That's how easy that is. That's how easy. Anybody have any questions? All right, so now, number 4.
X plus 8.
Yep. So again, come on now. Everybody should be able to say, I've got my 2 buckets.
And then it's X plus
There's a common x plus 8. And then what's left behind? X plus 4 is left behind. That is correct. Now, number 7, they're trying to trick you. It's not just a negative, it is a what?
1.
Negative 1 is there. So what can I pull out of each bucket? X minus 5 comes out of each bucket. And what's left behind? X minus 1. All right. So now, all right, those were the easy ones. All right. Now, number 10 is a little bit different. The reason 10 is a little bit different is because we don't see what's in the individual buckets. Now, how do I know that it's called factoring by grouping? Because there's going to be 4 terms, not 2 or 3. So what I need everybody to do now is I need everybody to take their parentheses here, and parentheses here. Now we're actually doing the work. It wasn't done for us. So in this, what is common? X. So I write down X, and what was left behind? A plus B. Beautiful. Now, in the next one, now, again, I need you to pay attention. It's not just Y, it's negative Y. Whatever this sign is what you're factoring out. So I factor out a negative Y. Now, remember, when you factor out a negative Y, all of the signs change. So if I pull out a Y, what's left? A plus B. Now, factoring by grouping, you can make yourself a little note. This here will always be the same as this here, or you've done it wrong. It will always be the same. Now, these problems are just like we did above. All right? So now we have to take this and look at it. And what's common? A plus B is common. And what's left behind? X minus y. That's really, really as hard as it is for today. All right? A plus B times X minus Y. All right, now listen, don't sit there and not know something. What?
Should I do the same?
No. All right? Everybody take a look. Any questions? All right, now let's drop down one more. All right? So again, everybody do grouping. First two and the second two. Now you should know whether or not you're getting it. So what is common here? So we write down X, and then you tell me what was left behind. A plus B. All right? Then you're looking at the next one. There's a common what? Now we're not going to say Y, positive Y. Then what's left? A plus B. Now we're looking at this saying there is a common what? A plus B. And then what was left behind? X plus Y. All right. Now, if there's an issue, it's much better for me to correct it now than wait. All right. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? All right, let's look at 16 now. Still, again, please be careful, grouping them by twos. All right, notice there are 4 terms when you're dealing by grouping. What's common?
X squared.
So everybody's going to write down x squared. And what's left behind? All righty. Now, please be careful. What's common?
2 and 6.
What is common? Someone, if you're looking here, what's the GCF?
2,
Close.
6.
What did I tell you about this? Right? So what's common with 2 and 6?
3.
2, but we're not saying 2, we're saying -2. All right? And when you factor out a negative, you have to change the signs. Now, this first term was negative, so now it's going to be positive. The 6 was positive, now it's what? Now remember, we're dividing numbers. Ask me a question.
Why is it y minus 2 instead of y minus 3?
Because you're factoring out a 2.
Okay,
Now, again, if you're ever unsure, just re-multiply things. If you can't see it, just go, what's -2 times y? -2y. What's -2 times -3? That's going backwards. It's an easy check. I also told you, you know you have done it correct if what? If these 2 things in here are exactly the same. Now, a lot of my kids say, well, if I just know I factor this properly, can I just put that over here? And the answer is yes. For us, right now, all right, that's always true. So now what? What's common? Y minus 3. What's left behind? That is correct. All right. Now, these, what we say normally is right here. This is now the real kind of problems that you're going to have. All right. So let's do factoring by grouping. Factoring by grouping. All right, someone please tell me what's common with 8x cubed and 28x squared. How many times is 8 going to 28?
Oh, so
What is it? What's common with 8 and 28? 4. Then what's common with x cubed and x squared? X squared, thank you. Now we look over and we factor it. So we told you divide numbers. What's 8 divided by 4? 2. And then we subtract exponents. So if there were 3 and you pulled out 2, there is 1 left. Now, 28 divided by 4. So it's minus 7. Now, over here, this guy, what's common with 6 and 21? What kind of 3? Positive 3. Now, why is it positive 3? Because it's whatever this sign is. And then, what's left behind? Always the same. 2x minus what?
7.
Always the same. All right. So now we're looking here. 2x minus 7. 2x minus 7. So we put that down. 2x minus 7. And what's left behind? 4x squared plus 3. What? Well, what did you think it was? Well, you're looking at 8 and 28 and saying, what's the common factor? What's the greatest common factor of 8 and 28? 4. Well, how many x's are here? 3. How many x's are in this bucket? So I can pull how many out of each bucket? That's correct. All right, next, 22. Let's go. Parentheses, 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 parentheses. All right, nice and slow. What's the GCF? Sienna, you are amazing, girl. Thank you. 3x squared. Now, be careful. Divide numbers, subtract exponents. 2x. No. Divide numbers. 3 divided by 3. Plus 1. Now, there were 2 x's. You pulled 2 x's out. Is there any left behind? No. All right. Now, this is the one that's hard generally. So is there anything common with 2x plus 1? 1. What type of 1? Positive 1. If you don't put that there, you're going to be confused. Then 2x plus 1. So now it's easy. Final answer. 2x plus 1. 3x squared plus 1. Now remember, I prefer that you're working with me, not writing them down. Everybody good with that? All right, here we go. 25. All right, 2 sets of parentheses. Come on now. Start out, everybody's doing this and this. All right, now what we're doing is we are looking here. And someone please tell me what is common. 5x squared. If you don't know that, you can raise your hand. Any issues with 5x squared? parentheses. 2x minus 5. Brilliant. Now we are looking here. What is common? Positive 2. What's left? 2x minus 5. What's common? 2x minus 5 parentheses 5x squared plus 2. Hunter, you all right?
Yeah.
Do I factor by grouping? No. It's like we did yesterday. All right, it's like we did yesterday. So I'm trying to show you how you got to think through them. Sometimes on the test, it's going to be mixed up. You got to figure out what's what. All right, so how many terms are there?
3.
3. So it's just 2 sets of parentheses. How do I make 2x squared? 2x and x. Factors of 3. So where's the 3 going? On the right side. That's why you train your brain visualizing, because now you're starting to see where the numbers should go. And they're both negative. Seriously, if you can do this, you're all good for Algebra 2. All right, most people cannot do that. I don't understand it. What? I don't know why you're doing that. You're asking me questions. That's not how I do things. I'm just doing the smiley faces. That's all. I don't have anything to do with odds and evens, and if this is odd, it has to be odd. I just don't do that. It's not important to me. All right? All the little rules that people try to make up, I just don't think are necessary, because I can do numbers well. So I don't have to remember that. And you can do numbers well too, so you don't have to remember all that. This is the important part, is to put the smiley faces in and do that calculation, and don't be lazy. All right, here we go. 31. What do we got? 5x and 5x. What else? 1 and 1. And 1 is? Because the middle term has to cancel. 5 minus 5 is 0. Any issues? All right, here we go. 34. Oh. We don't want to go with 4 and 4? Oh, okay. 8x and 2x. Go ahead.
And 3 on the left. And then 1 on the right.
Now, again, it's not that he's brilliant. It's just you start to see things, right? If you've done the work, you start to see the combinations of numbers, right? I would have done 4x and 4x. All right? But eventually, if you do the problems, you will start to see the patterns in the numbers and how the factoring is just simple. Now I want negative 14, so that means negative 6 and negative 8 makes negative 14. All right, 37. What do we got here? 4x minus 9, 7x minus 3. That's how easy. You have to recognize. Number 40 is a what? Grouping. Here we go. So what's common? X squared. We're left with x plus 5. Factor out A. Think for yourself. Negative 3. And what am I left with? X plus 5. Perfect. So I'm left with, I know you didn't mean it, but you said plus. It's times, right? Or just x plus 3 times x squared minus 3. It's small technicality, just making sure. Is that good with 40? Wow.
I have a question.
Come on, speak up.
Why did the 2x plus 5 instead of x plus 3?
Oh, it's not. I just can't write today. Good job. I appreciate that. X plus 5. It was x plus 5. Okay, I don't think I need to help anymore. If you have a problem, you're supposed to ask. And I just did all those problems and we didn't have very many questions. So I'm feeling okay with that. Anybody having any issues? Don't you agree that's pretty easy, right? Easy? Good, right? No problems. All right, guys. I'm going to stop the video. And tomorrow, I'm going to call you to my desk, and you're going to show me everything else. Right now, look, if you want to sit next to each other, guys, in my opinion, the boys have been getting on each other too much. All right? You think you're playing around. You think you're being funny. Someone gets their feelings hurt, and then you're out there, you know, getting even with each other. All right? You don't have that much more time together. Whatever, 3 months. All right? Some of you are like, I can't wait. All right, that's too bad. All right. So again, I'm giving you some time here. Sit with somebody or whatever and work together. I don't like playing around. I don't like the jokes. I don't like trying to embarrass each other. I don't like it. All right. Some of you think you're comedians and you're not even a little bit. All right. If you're being funny at someone else's expense, I don't appreciate it. All right. And some of you got the tables turned recently and you don't like it. All right. Then stop dishing it out if you can't take it. All right. Get to work. All right.